Opening day from Yankee Stadium here in the Bronx, New York. The New York Yankees take on the world champion Kansas City Royals. Starting pitchers for today's game for the visiting Royals of Kansas City, left-hander Bud Black. Last year he won 10 and lost 15. And for the Yankees, last year's Cy Young runner-up Ron Guidry, he won 22 and lost 6.
Opening day. What does opening day mean to me? Well, 36 years ago, opening day in Boston's Fenway Park against Mel Parnell, the Yankees were being beat 9-0 going into the 8th inning. Casey Stengel figured the game was lost, so he threw the rinky-dinks in. That was me. I was on the bench, so I went in and played. My first time at bat, very nervous. Mel Parnell made a mistake and threw me a strike, and I hit it for a double with 2 men on base. Came up in the same inning with the bases loaded and hit a single. Of course, I didn't get to play for a month after that, but that was my opening day. Opening day as a manager, 1969 with the Minnesota Twins. I lose the first game in 11 innings and then go on to lose the next 5 games in extra innings. So opening day is very special to Billy Martin. To the 2 managers down there, they're going to have butterflies in their stomach. A good reason. They both want to get off to a good start. The veteran Dick Hauser and the rookie Lou Piniella. So opening day is something special, but it isn't the whole season. Now, back to this message.
Fuel injected.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are your local Dodge boys. Visit your Dodge dealer today. Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Your Toyota dealer and the Toyota Celica. Performance and style. Who could ask for anything more? Your Greater New York Pepsi-Cola bottlers, makers of Diet Pepsi, Slice, Mountain Dew, and Pepsi Free. And by the New York Yankees. Now, welcome to opening game 1986. The Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. A big matchup. The Yankees and the world champions of last year, Jim Cott, the Kansas City Royals.
Well, opening day, of course, Bill, the most exciting day in baseball. As Bill Veeck said, the harbinger of spring is not the Swallows going back to Capistrano. It's the sound of the bat on the ball, and we're going to hear it and see it right here today.
You've got 2 teams. One team scores a lot of runs, the Yankees. The other team, a younger ball club with a lot of great young pitching, the Kansas City Royals.
Well, they've been damaged a little with the loss of Danny Jackson. Brett Saberhagen not able to start today puts a little more pressure on their pitching staff, and we'll see, does good pitching beat good hitting, or will the Yankees offense overcome their good pitching?
The Yankees had an excellent spring. I think they got a lot of excellent hitting down there. They got some, I think, surprising pitching. And you're a pitcher. Were you impressed by the Yankee pitching staff?
Everybody has said the Yankee pitching is suspect. I think the Yankee pitching is very underrated.
Now, defensively, they made quite a few errors. That's going to have to stop during the season.
Well, in spring training, I think you throw a lot of things out in spring training. Conditions are not always the same, and this is not to make excuses, but when ball players get up here, they know they're playing for keeps. The playing fields are in better shape. The defense will get better.
Now, Lou Piniella, first-year manager. Is that going to be a problem or not?
I don't think so. I see Lou as he was a successful player. He's very secure about himself. He doesn't have any ego problem or anything to prove. I think he's going to do a very good job as a manager, as Pete Rose did last year, his first job as a year as a player manager.
Let's look at the Kansas City Royal lineup. First of all, they've got Lonnie Smith leading off, and he's playing left field. Willie Wilson will play center field and bat second. Batting third for the Royals, a fine hitter, George Brett. He represents probably their only power. Batting fourth is Hal McRae, the designated hitter. Then the second baseman, Frank White, will follow McRae. And a guy who hit 30-some home runs last year, he has power. Steve Balboni, a former Yankee, playing at first base. Darrell Motley will play right field this afternoon for the world champions. Jim Sundberg will bat eighth, and he will catch. And Argenis Salazar will play shortstop, and he'll bat ninth. Of course, Bud Black will be doing the pitching. How about the Yankee lineup, Jim?
Well, for the Yankees, Ricky Henderson will play center field and lead off. Co-captain Willie Randolph, the second baseman, will bat second. Last year's MVP, Don Mattingly, playing first base, batting third. Cleanup hitter is the right fielder, Dave Winfield. Batting fifth, the newcomer to the Yankees, the designated hitter, Gary Renicky. In left field, coming off a hot spring, Henry Cotto. Dale Berra will start and play third base and bat seventh. Batting eighth will be the catcher, Butch Weiniger. Shortstop, Bobby Meacham. And the pitcher today for the Yankees, left-hander, co-captain Ron Guidry.
And let's look at the Yankees defensively.
Well, and defensively at first base, Don Mattingly. Second base, Willie Randolph. Shortstop will be Bobby Meacham. At third, Dale Berra. In left field, Henry Cotto. Ricky Henderson will be the center fielder. Dave Winfield in right, Butch Weiniger catching, and Ron Guidry on the mound.
Well, welcome to the 1986 season. Bill Weidel here along with the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto. Scooter, Billy Martin remembered his first opening day. Do you remember yours?
I remember it very well. I didn't get a base hit, but I was never so happy to make out. And we opened in the nation's capital. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, our president, threw out the first ball. I had never seen a live president. I was happy to make out.
Now, that 1950 season that Billy Martin was talking about, that was your MVP year.
I'll never forget that year. Billy will never let me forget the 2 hits he got in 1 inning either.
Well, the 1986 Yankees, a lot of power, surprisingly good pitching, and defensively they've got to tighten up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Let's look at the umpires for this first game of the 1986 season. Behind the plate is Rich Garcia. At first base, Greg Kosk, Rick Reed at second base, and Dale Ford umpiring over at third base. Billy Martin, of course, mentioned his 1950 year, and that's obviously the year that Phil Rizzuto won his MVP voting. That was Billy Martin's first playing game, and of course, managing. This is Lou Pinella's first game during the season, and I'm sure, Scooter, that Lou Piniella has a few butterflies while he's up there talking to the umpires. His first game that really means anything. Spring training goes by the boards now.
Well, you know, Bill, I would think Billy Martin hit the nail on the head when he said opening day is a very special day, but it's not the whole season.
That's true.
Everybody gets butterflies opening day.
But let me tell you something, though. With the pressure that's here, opening day means an awful lot. It's not like the other team.
You're right. They got to get off to a quick start, and the grass better not grow too quickly either.
Well, looks like we might have close to a full house here. And we have
Koch, how do you like that?
Yeah, we've got one more young man here watching this ball game.
There's the mayor.
He's over near the Yankee dugout off the first baseline. And the Yankees are taking the field, led by their co-captain, Willie Randolph. Enricato going out to the left. He made a job for himself this spring. Gone from last year's opener as we watch Ron Guidry, the starter for the 7th time. Pitchers, Rich Bordy, he's not here. Joe Cowley's not here. Dale Murray's gone. Phil Niekro. Scott Bradley's gone. Juan Bonilla, Andre Robertson, Don Baylor, Vic Mata, Omar Moreno, and Billy Sample. If we look at Guidry's record in 1985, that was last year when Ron Guidry won 22 and lost 6 and ended up second in the Cy Young Award voting. Players not on the 1985's opening day roster, but who are here now: Brian Fisher, Joe Niekro, Rod Scurry, Bob Tewksbury, John Monefusco, Mike Fischlin, Enricato, Mike Easler, Ricky Henderson, Gary Renicky. Both Henderson and Monefusco were on the disabled list. Now the first ball will be thrown out by Robert Merrill.
I know this is a first, Bill White. Nobody has ever sung the national anthem and thrown out the first ball on the same day. It's got to be the same day. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Don Mattingly playing at first base for the Yankees, and at second, that's the shortstop, Bobby Meacham, as we skip Willie Randolph. Randolph and Mattingly over talking between first and second now. As Meacham waits for Mattingly to go back to first base. There's the Yankee co-captain, Willie Randolph. At third base, Dale Berra. They're having a conference. Berra, Meacham, and Randolph. The left fielder is Enricato. He'll have the sun field. The center fielder, Ricky Henderson. And out in right field, Dave Winfield. Mattingly out talking to Winfield. The catcher is Butch Weiniger. And on the mound for the Yankees, left-hander Ron Guidry. Guidry, as I mentioned, is pitching an opening day for the 7th time in his career. Hasn't won any. That's unique.
And this matchup, Bud Black defeated Guidry in 1984 on opening day.
Yeah, but lifetime Guidry's won 14, lost 4 against the Royals, including a couple of shutouts.
Are you a percentage
I
player,
believe,
manager,
yeah, in a
announcer?
sense, yeah.
I am too, very much so.
What do you mean by that now? What do you go?
Well, if a guy keeps losing on opening day, I'm not going to pitch him anymore.
Well, my point, no. If he's got a 14-4 record against Kansas City, I want him out there if
Well,
I'm a
that's
manager,
true.
though, no matter what day it is. Anyway, Louisiana Lightning is ready to start the ball game for the Yankees and ready to start. How many years is this?
Number 30.
Number 30 for the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto.
Big 3-0, and here we go. Breaking ball, ball one. Everybody feels the excitement on opening day. Rip. Holy cow, what a play by Dale Barrett. I don't believe it.
Well,
That
Lonnie
ball was
Smith.
hit.
Yeah.
It was hit so hard it was by him.
Lonnie Smith thought he had a double at least. The way he runs might have been a triple, but Dale Berra making a fine catch of the line drive. He was playing him in short, too, for the bunt. Here it is again. Slider inside. Lonnie Smith really ripped it to third base. Dale Berra's right there.
Boy, you know, Dale said he reported in the best shape of his career. Really went all out, exercising both physically and mentally, and a bouncer. Slowly, he's going to have to hurry, and Meacham just gets him. Oh, you know, Bill, we were talking about the Yankees' great defense this spring. There's two examples.
Well, they've played well. They did leave the ball on the ground a couple of times, quite a few times this spring, but, you know, you can forget about all that once the season starts. Here's Wilson with excellent speed, chopping on a breaking ball. Meacham off balance. They get him by just a little bit, a whisker. Here it is again, past Berra. Meacham is right there. He takes his time, didn't hurry, didn't throw overhanded, made the play easily.
You're all right.
Here's the guy you got to worry about.
Yep, George Brett. Still get nightmares when I see Gossage throwing that high fastball to him during the playoffs. Not too well against Guidry compared to his lifetime average, 289 hitter. Ball one.
I think in this ballpark, that's where I'd pitch, Brett. I just throw it out there and let him hit the ball in left center.
Yeah, let
field.
him get that single or double. All right. Breaking ball outside, 1-1.
Nice article in Sporting News about George Brett and his family. His father, evidently a tough disciplinarian.
Oh. Well, it paid off.
Yep.
2 men out and nobody on. Strike two.
He might be a little nervous.
He could be. But that was quite a pitch Guidry served him there. Looked like it broke off the end of the table.
I don't care how long you play opening day, you get butterflies until you make contact or catch the ball.
Absolutely right. First rounder you get a little high at 2-2. He had him set up for that good fastball, Bill, but he just got a little too high.
Well, he didn't want to throw it in the strike zone, Brett. If you get it down, and he can hit the ball out of here. He's got to try. He'll probably try to get him out with the slider away from him.
There it is. Holy cow, what an inning.
Oh, Ron Guidry slipped through the Kansas City Royals in the first inning. And let's look now at the Royals defensively. They've got big Steve Balboni at first base, a veteran Frank White at second. Argenis Salazar, they call him Angel. He's playing at shortstop, and the third baseman is George Brett. Left field, Lonnie Smith. The center fielder, Willie Wilson, and the right fielder is Darryl Motley. Behind the plate, the veteran Jim Sundberg, and on the mound, left-hander Bud Black. Bud Black, the last year for the Royals, he won 10, and he lost 15. Last year, he was 0-3 against the Yankees, and lifetime, he's just 2-6. Black pitching because Brett Saberhagen, last year's Cy Young Award winner, has a sore shoulder. So Bud Black will be pitching to Ricky Henderson, Willie Randolph, and Don Mattingly, and here's the Scooter again.
All right, and Ricky Henderson will get a big hand. If you remember last year, Bill, he did not play in those all-important first 2 weeks of the season.
Not only did Henderson not play, Winfield was under the weather, and Mattingly
you're
was,
right, all three of them.
quite hurt.
Yep.
And of course, that's one of the reasons that Yogi Berra is no longer managing
That's
here.
right.
He didn't have all of his weapons.
Boy, I tell you, when you don't have all your weapons, and that is a pretty good arsenal, those three Bill just mentioned. Ball got loose in the right field corner. Now we're just about ready. So, Ricky Henderson. And Bud Black. Ball one. Just missed the inside corner.
It'll be interesting to see how far the Royal pitching will carry them this year.
Well, I tell you, they did it all with pitching last year. Off-speed pitch, knocked down by Brett, and throws him out. There was a bullet. Brett did the smart thing there. He just tried to block the ball and then picked it up and threw him out.
Took his time. Let's watch it again. Henderson pulling the ball. Got the ball down to Brett quickly. Got his feet just crossed up a little bit, but he took his time, watched, made a good low throw. This gave Balboni room to stretch, and they got Henderson by a full step. Watch him. He watches the ball all the way. If he'd looked up, he might not have made the play.
That's right. And Willie Randolph takes the ball. That was a play, the end of it. Ricky hit it so hard he didn't get out of the box until Brett had knocked the ball down.
Well, he's operating on a sore ankle also.
Ooh, good pitch there, 1-1. That's right, he hurt in that last
game.
game.
Yeah. He's been having ankle problems his 2 years with the Yankees.
No score here in the bottom of the first inning. 162 games to go. Lots of baseball. And in the hole, up with it, Salazar. Good arm, and there are 2 men out. Steve Balboni. And now Don Mattingly. But first,
Randolph pulls the ball. Salazar in the hole. He's got a good arm. Ball carried well for him.
Yep. All right, here he is, the MVP of the American League, Don Mattingly.
He was having some problems hitting during the latter stages of spring training. Still bothered by that thumb, sore thumb, bone bruise.
Ball one. Well, Bud Black's got that grounder working. Throwing the ball low, making him to hit the ball in the ground. And rip, but right out Balboni. So the Yankees get down in order.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and WPIX and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, accounts of this game, or any segment without the express written consent of the Yankees is prohibited. Scooter?
All right, William, and Hal McRae, the designated hitter, leading off against Louisiana Lightning. And ball one, a little low and away.
McRae played a ball game with his son this spring.
Yeah, wasn't that something?
Yeah.
That's exciting. Low, 2-0.
Really came on the second half of last year. They had almost written him off.
Just about. I remember that. He ended up at 259.
With a lot of RBIs.
Yes, 70. There's a strike. Hit the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike.
He'll hit the ball to right field, right center for you. Very seldom pulls the ball.
That's high, 3-1. Now, if you look at McRae, he has changed his stance many times, but has always hit well. Remember, he used to have the closed stance. Now he's just straight away.
If you can hit, you're going to hit.
That's right. No matter, stance doesn't mean anything.
No.
You're right.
Getting the head of the bat out on the ball.
Bounce to short. And Bobby Meacham had little trouble getting it out of the glove, but McRae doesn't run that well anymore, and there's 1 man out.
Well, Bobby didn't charge that ball, Phil. He waited on it, and the ball played him. You've got to go get the ball.
Well, that's absolutely right.
He'll stay back.
Look
Look at
that.
him. Wait on him. He's got to go get that ball. He could have gotten a better hop on it.
Yeah, he got on the heel of the glove.
But he made the play anyway.
All right, 1 man out. There you saw it. He waited for the ball, as Bill said, let the ball play him instead of him playing the ball, and he got it on the heel. But he made the play, and here's Frank White. All of a sudden has found power. 22 homers, 69 RBIs. Strike one. Sellout here at Yankee Stadium on opening day. Boy, it's been a long time since that happened. Low, 1-1.
I mean, sellout?
Sellout.
No.
What do you
Last
mean,
year
no?
or opening day sellout?
Opening day sellout, I'm talking.
Oh, okay. You've been here longer than I have, so
The
you...
weather, the weather's never been that good, and a lot of people stay away. Line to left, but moving back, Henry Cotto. And that young man won himself a job, Bill, in the spring.
Did an excellent job. He's always been a good defensive outfielder, and he hit the ball this spring. Let's watch it again. Slider hung up over the plate. And Cotto flipped the glasses down. He's playing the Sun Field, the tough Sun Field here at Yankee Stadium.
All right, here is Steve Balboni.
This outfield, Scooter, of Cotto and Henderson and Winfield can cover a lot of ground.
Could be one of the fastest. And they've all got good arms. He bounces one to second. Willie, oh, man, Willie was lucky there. He let the ball play, but he made the play. All right, Big Dave Winfield ready to lead it off here in the bottom of the second. There's no score. Last year, there's his record, 275, 26 homers, 114 RBIs. So Bud Black retired the first 3 Yankees. Guidry has retired the first 6 Royals. Ball one, a little low, right over the plate, but low. In 5 years as a Yankee, Winfield has batted .294. 127 home runs. Whoop, he lay off. They ask, yes, he laid off, and it's 2 balls, no strikes.
What about that Dwight Evans yesterday?
Is that a record? I know they're trying to find our first pitch of the season, and he hit a home run. 3-0.
And how about Kirk Gibson? He had some kind of opening day. 2 home runs.
2 shots, yeah.
4 for 4, 5 runs batted in. Detroit beat Boston.
Our old buddy Don Baylor creamed one, too.
He got a 2-run home run.
Strike one, 3-1.
And understand he went 3 for 4.
It's unusual in Detroit for the wind to be blowing like that.
Maybe Morse didn't have much.
That could be. Bounce foul. He was ripping at a 3-1 pitch. Guess fastball got it, but just swung on top of it. Full count on Dave Winfield. Cleveland beating Baltimore was a little bit of an upset.
Beat the Orioles 6-4 yesterday.
And then Tom Seaver. Good thing we didn't get him. He lost his opening game. Ball 4.
What are you going to do, send him to Columbus?
All right, there's the first base run of the ball game.
Number 11, Gary.
And now Gary Renicky, one of the new Yankees. Had some good years with the Baltimore Orioles. Had a good spring for the Yankees. Last year was not one of his good years for the Baltimore Orioles. With 218, 15 homers, and 43 runs batted in. Didn't play as much as he would like. He filled in at first base. We know he can play there. He can also play the outfield. And, of course, DH as he's doing at 8. Ball 1.
Well, he should add a little more right-handed power. Now that Baylor's gone.
Yes, they need him. Pretty good move there. Winfield not very far off.
Boy, it's tilted over there at first base. You've got 2 big fellas there.
Outside, 2-0.
One guy's 6'6", about 220. The other guy's 6'5", around 225. Big people.
Yep. Is that an inference to short people?
I haven't inferred anything.
Well, it sounded like it. Ground ball foul outside of third. Somebody was singing me that song yesterday.
Short people. No.
Sure, you see, he knows all the words that way.
Sing it.
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh.
I was very upset.
This is the future of baseball, though. Big guys who lift weights.
I know it. I know it.
Yep.
2 balls and a strike. Dave gets back. Roy White, number 6, coaching at Free. Roy got a big hand when they introduced him. That's good to see.
Got a big hand last night at the welcome home dinner.
Oh, they had a welcome home dinner. Low. And it's 3-1.
Oh, that's right. What was at the Waldorf?
Make that 2-2.
And
At the Waldorf?
A lot of Yankee fans welcome the Yankees back. There's Roy White. Got a big hand last night.
All right.
Joe Fugazi, and there's Gene Michael, the third base coach.
I knew he got a haircut. He really got his ears chopped. Foul tip held by Sundberg, and Renicky's out of there. First strikeout for Bud Black.
You know, the proceeds from that dinner is spread out. A lot of benefits, a lot of youth organizations in the metropolitan area.
All right, here he is, Henry Cotto.
If they honor you, are you going to be there next time?
No, they honored me already.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think they do it twice. I hope.
Did you know for about 6 years you couldn't win the most valuable player award more than once? That's why Ruth only won it once?
No, I didn't know. I swear I never knew that.
Yep.
Where'd you come up with that, Jim? White,
Well,
throw to first.
From this Yankee press guide.
Oh, the one I was wondering, because he had some great years, and so did Gehrig. And, very interesting. One man out. Another throw, and Dave is back. No score here. Bottom of the second. High fly, shallow right field, long run for Darrell Motley, but he's there and makes the catch. 2 men are out. And we'll bring up Dale Berra.
Number 2.
I want to see how they greet Dale. He had a rough time in spring training.
Number 2.
That's better than Florida, but not as good as I had hoped for.
You ever hear of a Chalmers? It was an automobile.
Yes, I did. Yes, they gave that as a prize, a gift.
Early awards were known as the Chalmers Awards.
Oh, no
the
kidding.
MVP awards. And the league made the award. The league made the award from 1922 to 1928, but no player could repeat.
Oh, ball wanted, Dale. Well, that is.
You heard of a Chalmers?
Yes, I certainly did.
Did you have one?
No. But I used to know cars just as they were riding by. I could name them all. They didn't have as many then as they have now. 2 balls, no strikes. Bud Black on the mound for the Royals. Oh, he had that ball by him. Dale fouled it off. It's 2-1. I had always hoped that I would get a base hit on opening day, White. But very seldom did I get one. It just seemed to me that if you got a base hit opening day, it would set the tone for the rest of the year.
Positive season?
Yeah.
Yep. But
for some reason, Ken Griffey, right?
And Mike Easler. Easler standing.
Easler's going to be a big plus for this team, too. Oh, he almost got Winfield. Dave was leaning and just did get back. See that? He had taken kind of a lean towards second. Another throw. Winfield's a good base runner. Very much underrated in that department.
Stole 19 bases last year.
Now the crowd getting on Bud Black a little bit. He's thrown over there 3 times in a row. Yeah, and he steals them when they mean something.
Well, you got, when you're in your mid-30s, you got to conserve a little bit.
Right. And looped in a shallow center. It's going to drop for a base hit. And Winfield holds at second base, and there's the first hit of this first game for the Yankees and the Royals. Dale Berra picks it up.
Here it is again. Berra gets this ball out on the end of the bat and just loops it into a shallow center field. No chance for Willie Wilson, and Winfield thought about going to third, but Wilson can not only cover a lot of ground, he's got an excellent arm.
Right.
Here it is again. 1 hop to Wilson, and Winfield decided not to gamble. In fact, Wilson threw behind him. Whoops.
Whoa, rang the bell. All right, here's Butch Weiniger with 2 out, 2 on, and no score in the ball game. Ball 1. So that's the first hit of this 1962 season in this ball game. There'll be a lot more of those. Ooh, that was a rough pitch. It's a strike, 1-1. Been a tough one for Weiniger to hit on the nose.
See if that ball right on the outside. No, that's right down the middle.
Yep.
That wasn't even on the edge. Just fooled him.
Bounce foul to Gene Michael with the good hands, and there's a ball and 2 strikes.
That ball was up and out of the strike zone a bit.
That one always looks so good, you know.
Well, after taking that one down the middle, I'm sure Butch's first time up, he says, I'm not going to let another one pass. He jumped on a high slider.
All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Outside. Now it's 2-2. Beg your pardon. Two balls, 2 strikes. See, Jimmy Hunter has lost none of his wit. Razor sharp. Whoa, he triple hitched that time, but laid off. Now the runners will be going 3-2 and 2 out. It's always a break for the team batting.
Here's Weiner again, starting at this pitch up and away, a breaking ball. So he raised his hands up, but wisely held on and took it for a ball.
All right, big pitch, the first one here early in the ball game. The runners go. And deep to left field. Oh, that's out of here. Holy cow, the first home run of the year. And the Yankees lead 3-0. Hey, White, he laid that one right down.
A fastball right there, and Butch Weiniger took care of it. Look at him, he's very happy. High fives, low fives, and hey, fans, you know what happens every time a Yankee hits a home run? Hey, Butch Weiniger, this Bud's for you. Here's Bud Black on a 3-2 pitch. It's a fastball right there. Weiniger's right on it. Perfect swing. No doubt about it. Right there. That's Lonnie Smith. That's well back in the seats. 3-0 Yankees.
Man, is that. And Butch had only 5 home runs all last year. He was injured a lot and was unhappy a lot, but he really creamed that one. Mike Ferraro, former Yankee coach and Indian manager. Bobby Meacham, ground ball in the hole, backhanded by Salazar. He beat it out, yes, sir. Great play by Salazar, but Meacham really got down the line, Bill.
And an excellent play by the first baseman, Balboni, who could have cheated here a little bit more. He might have gotten a call. Let's watch it again. Ball is bounced just to the left of Brett. He can't get it, but here's Salazar. Sets on that back foot. Good overhand throw that carries well. Watch Balboni with this big stretch. That's awfully close now. That's
very close.
I think if Balboni had cheated just a little bit, he would have gotten an out call. Here's Salazar. Ball really carries. Watch Balboni. Could have gone either way.
It could have.
I would have cheated a little bit.
You and those first basemen. I'm saying what a great play the shortstop made, how fast Meacham ran. And you said, don't
he just
forget
needs a little bit of help. All Balboni's got to do is take the foot off a little earlier, and I'm sure Cost would have called him out.
He would have. I still say there's no way an umpire can see the foot on the bag, the sound of the ball in the glove.
Nope. That's why you have so many close plays at first base. Go either way.
All right, the Yankees lead at 3-0 with Meacham at first, 2 out, and Ricky Henderson, who bounced to third his first time up. 1-1. Weatherman really cooperated. Didn't look like it yesterday and this morning. Runner's going, and he's going to make it. The throw is high. Stolen base for Meacham. Normally, Sundberg has got that good gun.
Yeah, but he got a big jump on Bud Black that time. Pitch is right there for Sundberg, but he throws it high. Here's Meacham. Good jump for Meacham.
Yeah.
White had to go up, couldn't get it back down. Bobby Meacham last year stole 25 bases for the Yankees.
All right, it's 2 balls and a strike on Henderson. Strike 2, 2-2.
I think Ricky's got to forget about home runs here.
Yep.
He was going for the downs on that one. Look at it. He got that leg up, and he's really ripping.
He got that up higher than usual. That's the power lift. Count is even at 2-2. Meacham at second. Struck him out with a good slider. But the Yankees pick up 3 runs.
Well, back here at Yankee Stadium, Butch Weiniger, a 3-run home run. The Yankees lead 3-0. And in the third, it'll be the Royals with the bottom third of their batting order, Motley, Sundberg, and Salazar. Scooter?
All right, Darryl Motley will lead it off, and there's Butch Weiniger. Boy, I tell you, it's tough to beat that kind of a thrill opening day. A 3-run homer. Start the season off right. Oh, ripped to right center. That's going to be in for a base hit. And rolling to the wall. They're going to have to hurry to hold him to a double. Oh, good play by Henderson, Bill. He handled that real fast.
And Motley jumping on Guidry's first pitch. You think when you get a 3-0 lead, you go out there, you might lay that first pitch in there?
I think you kind of forget a little bit.
That's a slider, though. That was a good pitch. That was a slider. Slid just a little bit. He stayed with it and ripped it to right center.
Then he got it in a bad spot, right?
Yeah, right down the middle.
All right, a double for Darryl Motley.
I think that's a bad spot.
It is. Now here's Jim Sundberg. Nobody out. Ball 1. Sundberg joined the Royals just at the right time. They got in the World Series and won it. I think that surprised everybody. The Royals beating the Cardinals. Swing and a miss.
Well, the Royals are in the right division.
Oh, absolutely. Man.
That's the right division, too. You don't have to get off fast. All you have to do is play consistently good baseball. Of course, Chicago might have something to say about it this year. They've made some moves.
Yes, they have.
Angels got a few youngsters.
This club got Rudy Law, who I'm sure is going to help them. There's Motley. Yeah, everybody just about helped themselves. With maybe I don't know about California Angels. I haven't read too much about it.
Well, they've got a kid, Joyner, that has taken Carew's place at first base. They're bragging about him.
But there's a mystery, isn't it? Well, maybe it's not a mystery. Bouncer hit to short. Runner's got a hold. Meacham. Nice play. Throws out Sundberg, and Motley holds at second. So Sundberg did not do his job there. Didn't move the runner over.
Here it is again, a slider that Sundberg tries to pull.
He could look like he could have gone to right field on that one.
Normally he will go to right field. But this time he got on top of it, and that meant that Motley had to hold at second base.
All right, here's Angel Salazar.
He got him from the Mets.
That's right. Tidewater batted .252. No power, 18 RBIs.
Those are guys who kill you, though.
Ball 1.
Buddy Biancalana, Hauser not happy with his bat. Of course, he had some kind of series. There's Hauser. Biancalana hit .278 last year and had an excellent series. He had .278 during the series.
He did. Bouncer hit to third. Dale Berra up. Throws him out, and again Motley has to hold at second base. So 2 men out. Don Mattingly making the put out.
Here's Berra watching the ball all the way.
Left fielder, Lonnie Smith.
All right, with 2 men out, Lonnie Smith, who lined to Berra, who robbed him of an extra base hit.
I've got Dale in a little shallow at third. I think I'd back up a little bit on Smith
now
with 2 outs. With 2 outs.
He's trying to pull that ball. He could get back. Strike 1. I don't know whether he's trying to fake him, because he starts there, and then as the pitch comes in, he backs up a little bit. And another one to Dale Berra. And Dale throws him out. What a job by Ron Guidry. Oh, man. Opening day, and the youngest and the most pleasant. Look, the happiest contented, I'll tell you, in this ballpark right now. Got a 2-bottle job there. Do you see that?
You think that kid's worried about winning and losing?
No. Willie Randolph bounced to short his first time up. Ball 1. Yanks lead 3-0 here, bottom of the third. Bud Black on the mound. And that'll be fouled back into the seats out of play. So Willie has been in every opening day lineup. Am I reading that right?
Since he's been here.
Since he's been here.
Yeah. Should be his 11th, shouldn't
You're
it?
right. Doesn't seem like he's been here that long.
I'm trying to figure out what happens if both your captains are playing.
Oh, who brings the lineup, huh?
Well, Lou brought the lineup.
Oh, you mean in case there's an argument or a
something
discussion?
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There he is. Don Mattingly. Well, it doesn't look like he could be comfortable with that stance. But the average disproves that. Slice foul. Ooh. Almost got one of our cameramen. Who's that waving, Jimmy Hunter? Center, but Willie Wilson never panicked.
No, you can forget it when you hit it out there.
Yep. There's nothing he can't outrun. That's the tough part.
Excellent speed. You know, you wonder why it took him so long to move Amos Otis and put Wilson out in center field.
Amos, boy, he did not want to leave that center field. And it cost him finally late in his career.
Here's Wilson just taking his time, going back, making this play easily. Excellent athlete.
Yep. All right, here's Mattingly. He lined out to Balboni his first time up. Ball 1. 1 man out, bottom of the third, and the Yanks lead 3-0. 3-run homer by Butch Weiniger in the second inning. Strike 1-1.
That front foot is flying out just a little bit with Mattingly. That doesn't happen that often against left-handers. Just a little bit into the bucket on that last pitch.
And he jammed him on that one. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's one he should have bailed out on, and then the ball would have been right there for him. See him try to get the hands in. He got the hands in, but still got jammed a little bit. He's got a quick bat, and he'll come on as soon as that bone bruise completely heals.
Just foul. Ripped it just outside the line.
Under that left glove, there's a wrapping and a padding that keeps the bruise from being right on the bat. It absorbs a little bit of the shock.
Bounce it to short. And Salazar had a little trouble getting out of the glove, but with that good arm throws him out 2 away.
I think Salazar is going to help these people because they really don't depend on power anyway, and he's got an excellent arm, charges the ball well. Looks like he's going to be a pretty good shortstop for them. They've released Onyx Concepcion, who shared shortstop with Biancalana last year.
Concepcion said, if a guy like Biancalana can beat me out, I better find another job.
Better get on with his life's work, huh?
Yep. All right, Dave Winfield walked and started the Yankee rally in the second inning. Ball 1.
But he should have had Biancalana's series, and maybe it would have been reversed.
That's right.
You know, that's what happens in a World Series. You spend your time getting the big guys out, and the little guys kill you.
That's right. Look at Bucky Dent. He had a great series. 2-0.
Cardinals really, I don't know why they gripe, because they didn't hit. When you hit 188, you're not supposed to win. Of course, they lost Vince Coleman, but legitimately, the Royals beat him.
Yep.
Got a pigeon out between first and second running the bases.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Hey, all right. Got a good low. He's scared to death. And he takes it.
You better be careful with Winfield swinging.
There he goes. Look, there's something wrong with that bird. He's mixed up. He's supposed to be on top of the screen. Strike one. There is something wrong with that bird. He's not flying too well. Boy, he is skimming the ground. Oh, yeah, there is something wrong. Do you see that? Bouncer, and he hesitated. Fair ball, and Sundberg's going to throw him out. So 3 up, 3 down. Bill White and Jim Cott will carry you along on the Dodge scoreboard at the end of 3. The Yankees 3 and the Royals nothing.
Tickets for all Yankee home games are on sale here at the Yankee Stadium advanced ticket window 7 days a week from 9 to 5, or visit any Tri-State Ticketmaster location, including select Record World and James Way stores. For the location nearest you, call Ticketmaster at 212-307-7171. Outside New York State, call toll-free 1-800-682-8080. Willie Wilson leading off against Ron Guidry here in the 4th. Jim Cott, Yankees leading 3-0. Big hit by Butch Weininger.
Well, Bud Black, a victim that inning, Bill, I think, of pitching a little defensively. Walked Winfield, pitched carefully, and then a 3-2 pitch to Weininger.
And a strike 2 on Willie Wilson. Wilson's been up once, and Meacham threw him out in the 1st inning. So far, Guidry's given up just 1 base hit. That was a leadoff double last inning, the 3rd, to Darryl Motley, and he was left stranded at second base. That's 1-2 on Wilson.
That's the difference in the 2 pitchers so far. See, Guidry's been aggressive. He's been getting ahead of hitters. Black, in the inning that the Yankees scored, the 2nd, had a defensive approach, I thought.
That's fouled back, still 1-2. Well, on that 3-2 pitch with the runners going, it seemed that he just wanted to get the ball over the plate.
Well, see, but if you back up, when I say defensive approach, he had Weininger 1-2. And to start the inning, he pitched very carefully to Winfield. I know Winfield's a big threat, but I always feel a pitcher has got to be the aggressor. I know a lot of managers say pitch carefully to this guy, but you've got to be the aggressor. Guidry's an example. He's pitching aggressive baseball, and he's effective.
2-2 on Wilson. It'll be Wilson, George Brett, and then Hal McRae for the Kansas City Royals. We're in the top of the 4th. A 3-run homer by Butch Weininger. The Yankees lead 3-0. Got him with a good hard one. Not a slide or a fastball. Ron Guidry second the strikeout of the game, and there's 1 down.
There's an example right there as we get a look at it again. Good fastball by Guidry. 2-2. The one thing you don't want to do is go to 3-2. Good look at his motion and that way he jumps off the mound, similar to Bobby Shantz years ago. Wilson swung right through it. A little reminiscent of that World Series against the Phillies when the Philly left-handers made Willie look pretty bad on high fastballs.
There's George Brett. He struck out in the 1st, which doesn't happen too often. Ball 1. Brett hit .335 last year for Kansas City. Drove in over 100 runs. Had a typical George Brett year. Want the fastball away here. 2-0.
Interesting talking with George Brett before the game. I said, how have you done against Guidry? He said, I think 2 years ago they asked Guidry, who's the toughest hitter for you to face? He said, George Brett. They said to Brett, who's the toughest pitcher for you to hit against? He said, Ron Guidry. That's mutual respect.
Yep. Ball 3, 3-0 on Brett.
See, now here's a case where he's pitching carefully to Brett, and it points up so much importance on a hitter like Hal McRae. If George Brett is going to get some pitches to hit, he's got to have somebody behind him like McRae or Balboni doing the job. That's where the Yankees have such an advantage with Mattingly and Winfield.
And it's 3-1 on George Brett. Brett taking all the way. He's down 3-0. He's playing for the team, not for George Brett. And he walks. First walk given up by Guidry. Second base runner for the Royals.
Well, and referring back to the 3-2 pitch you mentioned to Weininger for the home run, from a pitcher standpoint, the thing that you're mad at yourself about is not the 3-2 pitch, but the fact that you got there when you had a hitter 1-2 and you pitched a little too carefully on the 1-2 and the 2-2, and once you get to a full count, the hitter's back in control.
Well, here's a guy who has controlled a lot of pitchers. Hal McRae. He bounced short in the 2nd inning. Excellent hitter with men on base. Lost a step or two, so he's also a good double play man. He hits the ball sharply, hits it on the ground quite often. Count 1 ball, no strikes on McRae. Hit .259 for Kansas City last year. 2-0. Guidry now has lost his concentration.
Well, once again, pitching, I think, a little defensively. You've got a 3-run lead. You've got quality hitters coming up in McRae and Frank White, who has become a home run hitter for the Royals. And this is where a pitcher has to talk to himself about getting aggressive, going at the hitter, not becoming a defensive pitcher.
And a deep right. That ball carries out there, and it's going to be gone. McRae with a home run, a 2-run home run, and the Royals have moved within 1. It's Yankees 3, the Royals 2 here in the 4th inning. Now, if you start a ball out in that area here at the stadium, I don't care which way those flags are blowing, it really takes off. And Hal McRae hit his first home run of the year, and it's 3-2 Yankees now.
Here we get a look at the pitch. McRae well off the plate. Usually hitters that stand far away from the plate like the ball away from them. That home run there reminiscent of the ones the late Ellie Howard used to hit in this stadium.
So Hal McRae being congratulated by his teammates on the Royal bench. And Guidry now will pitch to Frank White. And the changeup is a strike.
It doesn't take many pitches for a pitcher to either ruin a ball game or to make a couple of key ones that would win a ball game for him. Out of 100 pitches, there may be 5 during a ball game that you're called on to make in key situations win the game for you. And there in Guidry's case, before McRae hit the home run, as you mentioned, he seemed to lose just a little concentration just before that.
Strike 2 on Frank White. 0-2. 1 out, nobody on. Yankees leading 3-2. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. In the last couple of days, a lot of home runs. We have 2 here in the Yankee opener. A 3-run home run by Butch Weininger in the 2nd, and a 2-run home run by Hal McRae here in the 4th. He went too far. Frank White down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Guidry, and there are 2 outs here in the 4th.
Well, and there's the good Guidry slider, the one that goes straight down. That, of course, he had really working for him back in the late 70s. You see White try to hold up, and that's what that pitch will do to a hitter. It looks like it's going to be a strike. You commit yourself, and the bottom falls out of it. It's too late to hold up.
You mentioned the 2 home runs hit so far here today. Yesterday in Detroit, Dwight Evans hit 1, Jim Rice hit 1, Kirk Gibson hit 2, and Don Baylor hit 1, and Rich Gedman hit 1.
And usually you figure early in the season with the cold weather, it should favor the pitchers. I always felt it did.
Well, in the Milwaukee-Chicago game, Deere Riles hit home runs as Balboni hits this one into center field. And Ricky Henderson is there, and that'll retire the side. Royals come up with 2 runs on 1 hit. Nobody left. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. Yankees 3, Kansas City 2.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Burger King. Try our flame-broiled Whopper sandwich. And by Canon, so advanced it's the world's leader in 35mm photography. Bottom of the 4th inning, Yankees leading 3-2, and leading off against Bud Black, designated hitter Gary Renicky.
Renicky struck out in the 2nd. Takes a breaking ball. We talked about home runs yesterday. In 5 games, there were 13 home runs hit, including 7 at Tiger Stadium. A couple of them in Chicago. Frank White at 2nd will charge. Renicky's the first out in the 4th inning.
Well, and now Buddy Black has a new life for the Royals. Anytime you fall behind 3-0 against the Yankees, and with the kind of offense the Royals have, you don't figure to come back. They're not known for their offense. They're known for their pitching. But now with McRae getting the 2-run homer, getting him within striking distance, it gives him a little more inspiration to go out to that mound. And now you're looking at every inning as a pitcher as if it's the 9th inning. You've got to hold them off. The inning after you score is the most important inning for a pitcher.
Here's Cotto. Cotto's been up one, slide to right. And it's a ball. Well, when you get within 1, you can use more. You can steal a little bit. You can sacrifice. You can hit and run. Sometimes when you're down 3, you can't do those things. Got to play a little more conservatively. 2 balls, no strikes on Cotto, who had a fine spring for the Yankees. He hit so well, and Pasqua did so badly that they flip-flopped in the order of things. I think at the beginning of spring training, they figured Cotto for Columbus and Pasqua to play left field against right-handers.
Well, that's one of the exciting things about being in spring training, to see the surprises. Sometimes they're young phenoms, and sometimes they're players like Henry Cotto, who has had some big league experience. But as you mentioned, he's known as a defensive outfielder, and all of a sudden he comes to spring training and hits .348 and wins a job.
And that's a base hit. Wilson, with his speed, will cut it off. That's what speed does for you in that outfield. A fine play by Willie Wilson. Cotto's first base hit of 1986. Did you see him get a jump on that ball in center field?
Well, those are the plays that don't show up in the box score right there. You mentioned Willie Wilson's great speed, and that's how the game has changed so much over the years right now. There is so much speed, both on the base paths and in the outfield, that balls like that years ago were an automatic double. And right now, you've given your pitcher a big lift by keeping the double play in order.
Dale Berra. Well, we mentioned Dan Pasqua. I think Dan will be back this year, and I think he's got a great future here at Yankee Stadium.
Just a confidence problem.
Yep. And mechanics. He got mechanically and got into a rut. He's guessing wrong. He was guessing fastball on breaking balls and guessing breaking balls on fastballs. Dale Berra singled to center field in the second and scored on Weiniger's home run. Yankees lead it by a score of 3-2. We're in the bottom half of the fourth inning.
I'll tell you a player that you can follow this year in the National League that will parallel Dan Pasqua's career, I think, and that's Eric Davis with the Cincinnati Reds.
He had a home run yesterday. That might go off of Brett. And everybody's safe. That'll be an E5. George Brett went over. Ball got under his glove. He kicked it towards shortstop, and Dale Berra's on an error.
Now, early in the game, Brett had a backhand play. As we get a look at Dale Berra, you see he gets a good jump on the ball, but instead of backhanding, he does the proper thing, keeps it in front of him. It took just a little hop back toward the infield, and of course that was a real boot. We'll get another look at it right here. Got the glove down, did everything mechanically right, just didn't come up with the ball.
So the Yankees runners at first and second with one down on the error by Brett, and the hand is for Butch Weiniger, who gave the Yankees a 3-0 lead in the second with a home run off a 3-2 pitch. Royals came back to 2 in their half of the fourth, and the Yankees are leading now 3-2. Think Weiniger can have a Kirk Gibson kind of a day?
He's got a shot at it right now. 6 RBIs and 2 at-bats.
It's 1 strike on Weiniger. That might be 2. Butch does not run well. There's 1. Easy double play. And the side is retired.
Top of the 5th inning. Yankees 3, Royals 2. And leading off the top of the 5th for the Royals, Darryl Motley, who in his previous at-bat got a double actually to right center field, but was stranded there.
All right, Jim Cott. Yankees had 3 runs on 4 hits. The Royals 2 runs on 2 base hits. And Guidry starts him off with a fastball for a strike.
I referred to the Eric Davis-Dan Pasqua comparison. The point I wanted to make there, last year Eric Davis was given the job with the Reds, starting center fielder. Put too much pressure on himself, as we see Motley swing over Guidry's good slider right there. And he did the same thing Pasqua did. He had a tough spring because he thought the job was his, put a lot of pressure on himself. Now this year he's a much more relaxed player. I think he's going to have a big year, and I would look for the same thing from Pasqua next year. Maybe even the last half of this year.
0-2 on Motley, and that's fouled back. Well, he said that Davis also thought last year he knew everything there was to know about hitting. And he found out awfully fast that he didn't. This year, first thing he did when he got to spring training, he went and talked to Billy DeMars, the batting coach.
Tough thing. When you've had success in the minor leagues, you get to the big leagues, you say, should I listen to a new coach or do I try to do it the way I was doing? And, of course, he failed last year. Now he's made some changes.
Waste pitch up, 1-2. Ron Guidry looking for his first opening day win in 7 tries. Got a piece of it.
Motley, of course, as the Royal right fielder, represents, I think, one of the 2 trouble spots that Dick Hauser feels he has on his ball club. Right field and shortstop. They got rid of Pat Sheridan, who did a an adequate job for them last year, especially in postseason play. And, of course, Buddy Biancalana with the great World Series, but were not productive during the regular season. That's the 2 holes they need to fill.
Still a ball and 2 strikes on Darryl Motley. He'll be followed by Jim Sundberg and then Angel Salazar. Argenis. Angel. Salazar.
Well, there's a guy, he's been given more chances than Liz Taylor's given her husband. He's been with about 5 different clubs, and he every year they say this is the shortstop, you know, the star of the future.
In the dirt, 2-2.
The opportunity he got in Montreal to start the '83 season, and in talking to the players there, they just felt like he was one of these young players who had the job. As we get a look at some of Louis' coaching staff there, Lou Piniella, Sammy Ellis, and Gene Michael.
Got him with that slider. Motley down on strikes. That's the 4th strikeout for Ron Guidry.
But he never really, you know how when guys have a job, in order to keep it, you come to the ballpark early, you work at it, you work, as you mentioned, Eric Davis with Billy DeMars, and the word on Salazar, as we get a look at Guidry's slider right here.
Oh, did that go down? Did you see that dip?
Steve Carlton type slider, and of course Guidry's slider from back in the late 70s.
Here's Jim Sundberg, bounces short his only time up, and he takes a strike.
But Salazar, they said, it didn't come out for extra hitting and things like that you have to do to become a better ball player, and as a result, he's still struggling to make it. This is his 5th organization.
Mattingly, Gold Glove at first base, 2 outs.
That's good play by Mattingly. Looked routine as you look at it from up here with the ball going down there in 1 hop. See Sundberg swing late, but as it took a hop, it went back toward the infield side, similar to the ball that Dale Berry hit to George Brett. But, of course, Mattingly, a Gold Glover, quick reflexes, had no trouble handling it.
Oh, there are 2 outs. Now Weiniger wants to talk to Guidry about something. I'm not sure it's about Salazar, who bounced to 3rd in the 3rd, as it's becoming a little overcast here at Yankee Stadium. Yankees leading by a score 3-2. We're in the top half of the 5th inning for the Royals. Now the Sun's going to break through. There are 2 outs, nobody on base. Strike 1.
Now there's a difference between opening day and spring training. I don't think we saw, even though he had an effective spring, I don't think we saw Guidry throw his slider in spring training like he's throwing it today with that kind of velocity.
Strike 2 on Salazar. Guidry over the last 2 years has made the transition from thrower to pitcher. 22-6 last year, mixing his pitches up more. And he's just picked up his 5th strikeout of the game, and that'll retire the side.
Going to the bottom of the 5th with the Yankees leading 3-2. Get a look at Ron Guidry in the dugout. His last pitch, now let's get a look at it. He limped off the field. Good slider. But as Ronnie came off the field, you'll see him limping right there. And he may have just taken a bad step. Nothing serious, but the Yankee bullpen is going to get up just in case.
And Bobby Meacham just took a pitch high ball. He got a single to deep short his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. We're in the bottom of the 5th, and the Yankees lead 3-2 over Kansas City. A 3-run home run by Butch Weiniger and a 2-run shot by Hal McRae.
When I say he took a bad step, sometime a pitcher with the pitching mound out there, as we get a look at John the Count Montefusco on the left of your screen, the right-hander, and left-hander Rod Scurry. A pitcher doesn't always hit in the same place on the mound, and you dig a bit of a hole there, and if you don't hit in exactly the same spot, you're subject to twisting your ankle or your knee, and that's probably what Guidry did.
Base hit for Meacham. He's now 2 for 2. Thought Salazar might have come up with the ball, but it dipped under his glove. So Meacham picks up a base hit for the Yankees. Their 5th of the ball game off Bud Black.
Here we get a look at it. Fastball right down Broadway. Just out of Salazar's reach, and Bobby Meacham continuing the way he played in spring training, where he hit .309. Off to a fast start with 2 for. That's got to help a young player like that coming into the season. Hit .218 last year. Start out the year 2 for 2.
Ricky Henderson into right center. This is playable. And the right fielder Motley settling under it. for the first out. Meacham goes back to first. Well, Roy White has been working with Meacham with his hitting, worked with him all spring. And it's paying off here in this opening game. Meacham 2 for 2.
Well, that's what's so important about finding coaches that can relate to your players. And in Lou's case, he has coaches that he knows, that he's played with, and he feels can help the personnel that he has. Meacham's a good example.
Now, looking ahead, Jim Cott, they'll probably let Guidry go out and warm up, and if he can't do it, they will go with either Scurry or Montefusco. Willie Randolph has been up twice. He's bounced out and flied out, and a pitch out. Meacham not running. He stole second in the second inning after he singled.
We mentioned in spring training Lou Pinella's plan with his pitching staff. He's not geared toward getting 9 innings out of his starters. If he can get into the 6th, and a Scurry or a Montefusco can get you to the 8th, you have Fisher and Righetti to polish him off.
Plus, Lou probably wants to make sure that John Montefusco is for real this year. He had an excellent spring, and he'll probably go to John quite often middle innings.
So much talk about the Yankee pitching staff being the weakness, and I think it's quite underrated. And the Kansas City staff, we've talked about, that's what really won the championship for them last year. But with Jackson being disabled and Saberhagen hurt, they're pretty thin. They only have 4 guys in the bullpen and no left-handers. Makes them quite vulnerable.
I'm anxious to see if Dan Quisenberry can continue to last year. Now, you remember Hauser didn't use him in a couple of key games against the Blue Jays. And so it looked like Dick might have, at least last year, lost some confidence in Quisenberry. And if Quisenberry doesn't do the job, they can go home.
The guy that saved the day for him really last year was Steve Farr.
2 balls, no strikes on Willie Randolph. Meacham on at first base, 1 down. Yankees leading 3-2 in the 5th inning.
They're quite often the guys on the pitching staff that don't get much credit, don't pile up statistics, but are very important.
I don't believe Randolph like that. It's, as we look at Mike Ferraro, the count's 2-1. Mike Ferraro, the third base coach for Kansas City, also coached third here for the Yankees. Managed Cleveland part of a year. Came through the Yankee farm system. Has a record for assists at third base. That Ferraro.
I remember him when he was with the Brewers.
I think that's where he set the record. From Kingston, New York. Now lives down in Florida. Well, Bud Black paying a lot of attention to Bobby Meacham with the count, 2 balls and a strike on Randolph. And he's gone. And no throw from Sundberg. Big jump for Meacham. He's stolen his second base in this game.
Good jump off first base by Meacham. And there again, we pointed out in some of our spring training broadcasts, pitchers overdo throwing to first base so often. I don't care how many times you throw over there. See, Sundberg never even had a shot at him. You could throw over there 5 or 6 times, but if you don't vary your count and destroy the runner's timing, all you're doing by throwing over time and time again is giving a guy like Meacham a chance to read you and get a better jump, which is what he did right there.
2-2 on Randolph. That'll fall. That'll be a base hit. And Meacham's going to score. Lonnie Smith does not throw well. He's got a weak arm. Meacham scores on that looping hit to left, and the Yankees lead 4-2.
There's a case where the stolen base by Meacham really produced the run, because the ball hit by Randolph was just a bloop single, really a broken bat. You'll see it right here. It's up and in the strike zone. Willie didn't get the barrel of the bat on it, but enough to get the ball over Salazar's head, and Meacham scores easily. As Bill pointed out, Lonnie Smith does not have a strong throwing arm.
I think the left fielder Smith and the right fielder Motley, they're going to run an awful lot on the Royals. Willie Wilson, of course, has an excellent arm out there in center field. Here's Don Mattingly, 0 for 2. He's lined to first, bounced to short. That single by Randolph, the Yankees' 6th hit of the ball game. Royals now get their bullpen busy.
Well, we mentioned the importance of Steve Farr last year on the Royal pitching staff, and that's who Dick Hauser is getting up right now to come in and bail out Buddy Black. Steve Farr in the Royal bullpen.
And it's 1-0 on Mattingly. Popped up left side, playable in foul territory. George Brett, the third baseman. 2 outs.
Well, that's a tough pitch for a left-hand hitter, no matter how good a hitter you are. When you have a left-hand pitcher that can drop down sidearm to 3/4 and get that breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, it's just real tough to get the barrel of the bat on.
Here's Dave Winfield. Winfield has walked and scored and bounced out in front of the plate, and Sundberg threw him out, so he's 0 for 1. Yankees have 4 runs on 6 hits. They've played airless baseball. Kansas City 2 runs on 2 base hits, and have made 1 error, charged to George Brett, the third baseman. Time called here by Rich Garcia.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the inning, on the last pitch of the top of the 5th, Ron Guidry limped off the mound, apparently twisted his ankle or knee, and the Yankees immediately got Scurry and Montefusco up in the bullpen. So we'll see when Ron goes out to start the 6th whether he's able to continue or whether Piniella will have to make a pitching change.
He said, no, it's going to carry to left. Winfield hit the ball hard. It carried out to Lonnie Smith, and that'll retire the side. The Yankees pick up another run on 2 hits. They leave a man. And at the end of 5, the Yankees lead Kansas City 4-2.
The Yankees group and season ticket department is ready to help you find the ticket plan that's just right for your needs. Full season and combination plans are still available, as well as individual game tickets. Call the Group and Season Sales Department at 212-293-6013 for information. That's 212-293-6013. And we're going to get a new pitcher for the Yankees in the top of the 6th inning. We mentioned Ron Guidry's injury, and we're trying to find out whether he twisted a knee or an ankle, or he may have just come up with a cramp in his leg. Nevertheless, Rod Scurry will take over here in the top of the 6th and try to protect the 2-run Yankee lead. Guidry worked 5 innings, allowed 2 hits. He walked 1 man, allowed that 2-run homer to Hal McRae, and struck out 5. And, of course, Bill Scurry's job right here will be to get the Yankees into the 8th. I'm sure that Lou elected to go with Scurry instead of Montefusco, with George Brett being in the RBI spot right now. If you were to go with a right-hander and one of the first 2 men got on, then that would mean a right-hander would be facing Brett with a tying run at the plate. So he has opted to go with Scurry here in the 6th.
Yeah, but Brett's the only left-hander in that whole lineup, which will be interesting. Lonnie Smith, Willie Wilson, and Brett here in the 6th. Scurry was sold to the Yankees in September of last year. He got into 5 games with the Yankees. He won a game, lost none, with a 2.84 ERA. Normally, Scurry's job is to come on and get 1 left-hander out in a tough situation. Now he's pitching to Will Smith and gets a strike in.
And there's that curveball we mentioned that Scurry is famous for. He's got a great curveball, but his problem has been controlling it up till now.
Smith has lined to third, bounced to third, and it's quickly no balls, 2 strikes on breaking ball.
Well, that's a good sign, getting 2 of those over in a row. I mean, he's exceptionally tough, as any pitcher is, when he can get ahead of hitters.
Here's another one. That Weiniger, he's got an olive between his fingers here. 3 straight curveballs. Gene Monahan, he probably works harder than anybody on this club. You know that?
He's got a lot of responsibility.
Foul. He comes in here at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning as we look at Lou Piniella, who also has quite a bit of responsibility on his shoulders. But Monahan gets in. He's the first one in and the last one to leave.
Well, even though you don't have a lot of injured players, we get a look at Gino sitting on the bench. You've got a lot of preparation that players go through.
Got him with the curveball. Scurry comes on in relief of Ron Guidry and strikes out Lonnie Smith with breaking balls.
There we get a look at Rod Scurry's curveball. That's the key to his success right there. If he can get ahead of hitters and throw that curveball right there, that was not really a strike. But when you're ahead of hitters, you'll get by with curveballs that aren't strikes because they're they're more apt to commit themselves. But his problems come about when he falls behind in the count, 2-0 and 3-1, can't get the curve over, and then he's vulnerable.
Willie Wilson has bounced out and struck out. Ball one. Yankees 4, Royals 2. We're in the 6th inning. Into right field, that will not carry. Winfield's out there, backs up for the second out. This team is a different ball club. Talking about the Royals at home, though. They don't hit too many fly balls. They try to keep the balls close to their artificial surface as they can. They hit it and run it.
That's where another example of where the game has really changed over the years is instead of finding big, strong hitters they looked for years ago that could drive the ball through the infield, you want guys that can run and beat the ball into the ground, as you mentioned, on AstroTurf.
George Brett takes a strike. Brett struck out, walked, and scored on McRae's 2-run home run in the 4th. 30 home runs last year, .335 batting average. He battled Wade Boggs for a while, but I think the weight of having to drive in runs and carry the Royals finally took its toll on George Brett, where Boggs just continued to hit his singles. Good breaking ball. 1-2.
Well, an exceptional year for George Brett, as we pointed up a couple of innings ago, is because he doesn't have a lot of real top-notch hitters, and this is not to knock McRae, a lot of productive hitters around him.
2-2 on Brett.
And every hitter we mentioned the Mattingly, Winfield, and Bill, you were right. They're just announcing that Ron Guidry did leave the game with a strained calf muscle. Mattingly and Winfield, they can protect each other.
Mattingly to Scurry on the short hop. The side is retired. 3 up, 3 down.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Yankees carrying a 4-2 lead against Buddy Black. And as we mentioned, Ron Guidry forced to leave the game with a strained calf muscle, not expected to be serious or to have him miss a turn.
All right, Jim Cott. Gary Renicky leads off against Black. Renicky has struck out and bounced out. He's 0 for 2. He'll be followed by Henry Cotto and then Dale Berra. Change up. Let's see if Wilson can get to it. Yes! Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson with a shoot top grab for the first out. And he gets a hand from the Yankee fans here.
Well, there we get a look at Black's curveball high in the strike zone. Renicky didn't hit it good, and as you mentioned, the speed of Wilson a couple of innings ago when he cut that gapper into a single. And there's another example of how speed can save you some pitches.
Wilson probably has a lot of his fans and family here from over in Summit, New Jersey. Pretty good football player over there. Somebody
good athlete.
Mentioned that he had a scholarship offer from the University of Maryland as a running back. Henry Cotto tries to bunt for a base hit. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Yankees 4, Kansas City 2. Bottom half of the 6th inning. 1 out, nobody on for the Yankees, who had an excellent spring. They won 17, lost 11. Best spring for them since back in 1973. 0-2 on Cotto.
When you think of Willie Wilson, as you mentioned, because of his speed, you'd think of him as not being a big man. He's 6'3", 195.
Right back to Black, and he'll take his time. 2 outs.
Well, as a pitcher, that's your favorite kind of out. You love to see a hitter have to check his swing on a pitch like that. You know it's fooled him, and you've embarrassed him, really, which is not what you're trying to do, but the fact that you...
Yes, you are.
Not really.
You are trying to embarrass him.
No, that's really when you get in trouble. I think I've heard more pitchers say when they try to embarrass a hitter, instead of just go after him, that's when they get in trouble.
Dale Barrett takes the strike. Dale singled to center field in the 2nd inning and got on an error charge to Brett in the 4th. So he's 1 for 2 in the game. 1-1.
I remember a couple years ago, Doug Bear pitching for the Cardinals threw 2 good sliders, and then he tried to rush a fastball by somebody, and it caught up with him. And we talked about it after the game. And he said, I knew I should have gone to another slider, but I wanted to embarrass him. I wanted to throw the ball right by him. I said, never give a sucker an even break. You got him with 2 sliders, throw him another slider.
2 balls and a strike on Bear. That's a good changeup. It's 2-2.
Well, Black really, with the exception of the inning where he walked Winfield, so we get a look at that good off-speed pitch that Berra's way out in front of, and then surrendered the home run to Weiniger on a 3-2 pitch, is pitched very effectively.
Got him with a good hard one right down the middle, and that'll retire the side. For the Yankees, 3 up and 3 down.
And we move to the top of the 7th inning with the Yankees still holding that 4-2 lead on the strength of Butch Weiniger's 3-run homer in the bottom of the 2nd. McRae with a 2-run homer in the top of the 4th for the Royals brought them within 1. And then Bobby Meacham's 2nd hit of the game, stole 2nd and scored on Willie Randolph's bloop single to left. Ron Guidry had to leave the game after 5 innings with a strained calf muscle. Scurry has held them off in the 6th. And here's Scooter at the top of the 7th.
All right, Jim Cott. You know, Jimmy Hunter, Jim Cott won the Rookie of the Year award as an announcer down in spring training, and that's why he's up here today with us. He was our unanimous vote. No, he did a great job. I tell you, he really showed me something. Very, very good. Did his homework. Of course, he's been around. He's pitched to just about everybody in both leagues, so you ought to know him. And their fathers, some of them he pitched against. No, but he did a great job. Great analyst. Hal McRae, by the way. I never believed, Jim, that ball was going to carry out of here when he hit it.
I didn't either, but there have been a couple fly balls to right field as you get a look at the right fielder and the way they drift. The Yankee Stadium's deceptive.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Look at this.
The Cora Rizzuto fan club.
Every year they're here. Oh, there's another base hit for McRae the opposite way.
So now that's good hitting. McRae, being the experienced hitter, knows Scurry has that outstanding curveball. He struck out Lonnie Smith with that curve. He's thrown a couple to him. He waited. He wasn't going to get out front on it. He says, if he gets the curveball, I'll hit it to left field. He got the fastball and went with him. That's good hitting. That's why he's a .296 lifetime hitter as a DH.
Yes. Another thing, that Scurry, I know he's rough on left-handers, but, man, that pitch he threw Lonnie Smith to strike him out was a wicked curveball. And now Frank White takes a curve over strike call.
Well, I'm sure that Lou will not go too long with Scurry, with George Brett now having been retired the last inning, because they're predominantly right-hand hitters. Montefusco is up again in the Yankee bullpen. And, of course, the Royals are not real deep on the bench. They have George Orta and Jamie Quirk, really the only 2 left-hand hitters that can come off the bench for them.
All right, good thinking. There's a foul back into the Royals dugout. And, of course, the Yankees, one of their real strong points is their bullpen.
Well, I think so. And right now you're playing the game an out at a time.
Right.
If you have to bring Montefusco out to just get through this inning, now you've got Fisher and Righetti for the 8th and the 9th. Of course, you'd really like Righetti against Brett.
Right. A bouncer out to the mound. Scurry up and makes the play to first. Good play by Mattingly on a low throw. McRae moves to second. 1 man out.
Well, you mentioned Scurry's curveball and that he made Lonnie Smith look bad. If you have a good curveball like Rod Scurry does, I mean, against a left-hander, it's practically unhittable.
Right.
And against a right-hander, they're not really going to drive the ball. The key to his pitching is as he's done so far, get ahead of hitters. When he gets ahead of them, they'll chase that curveball. When he falls behind, they're going to sit and wait till he has to come in with a fastball, and that's when he's not as effective. And here's a guy who puts a lot of pressure on him to get that breaking ball over to him.
Right. You want Balboni guessing, and guessing right on the fastball. As the curve low inside, though. Ball 1. Balboni has bounced to second and flied to center field.
Well, this is one of those situations I would think that right now Scurry and Weiniger are saying first base is open, and they talk about the old walk the winning run or the leading run, but they don't want Balboni to get a good pitch to hit.
No, just missed outside.
I thought that looked like a strike, but it may have broke just around the plate.
I think Garcia might have been fooled on that.
There we get a look at it.
Oh yeah, that had the corner. You think it went around?
Richie Garcia. Hey, I'm a pitcher, ex-pitcher. I think it was a strike.
All right. All right, now it's 3-0. And Dick Howser could very well give Balboni the green light, knowing that he's one of the few that can hit the ball out of the ballpark here at the stadium. Ball 4. Notice Scurry did not give in and throw the fastball, as you said, Jim.
3-0 curveball. That's one of those hitters where they said, Balboni's not going to tie the game on us. We're going to leave it up to Darryl Motley.
Well, there's Shirley on the right.
And John Montefusco on the left.
All right. Count and Shirley.
And there they're looking ahead. See, Lou's looking ahead right now. He's got 2 guys going. If he has to make a pitching change and bring Montefusco in, and then if Hauser would counter with a left-hand hitter, Montefusco could face 1 man, and you'd come in with Shirley.
All right. All right, here's Darryl Motley with 1 out, and runners at first and second, and the Yanks leading 4-2. Strike 1. Man, that was a beautiful curve with inside part of the plate. Motley's pointings thought he was inside. It was when Weiniger caught it, but watch where it goes over the plate.
Yeah, see, I thought the one he called the ball, the previous hitter, was a better pitch than that.
Another one. Well, he does have an excellent breaking pitch, no doubt about it.
Get another look at him. That's just about all these Kansas City hitters are going to see from Rod Scurry right here, because this, for all practical purposes, will be his last inning of work. Get to the 8th inning, it's Fisher and Righetti territory.
He got him on 3 straight curveballs. One better than the next. Wow.
See, if you had to pitch 9 innings like that, we'll get a look at it right here, and Motley is swinging way over that ball. If you had to pitch 9 innings like Rod Scurry's pitching right now, curveball after curveball, you couldn't do it.
You wouldn't be able to comb your hair tomorrow.
No, but for just a couple of innings, that's his job. He's going to come in. You're going to see primarily curveballs, and if he gets it over, he'll be very effective.
All right, his Sundberg bounced to short and bounced to first, and that curve is a little bit low. Ball 1. 2 men are out now. Oh, he was looking for the curve, got the fastball.
Looking for the local and got the express.
Very good. First and second. Val Boney at first. Al McRae at second. That just missed with a breaking pitch. 2-1.
Look at Mike Ferraro, third base coach. And I'm sure Dick Hauser's wheels are turning right now. If Scurry should lose Sundberg.
He tried to go to right field, was a little late on that. 2-2.
That would bring up Salazar with the bases loaded. Now, if you come
I don't think he'd bat, though.
Now, if you come with a right-handed pinch hitter, you're going to see Montefusco.
All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Then he could switch around and use Orta or Quirk.
Oh, he tried to put a little extra on that curve and missed. 3-2, the runners will be going with 2 out. Yanks lead 4-2 in the top of the 7th.
That's the pitch that got Black in trouble, the 2-2 pitch to Weiniger. 3-2, the hitter's in the driver's seat.
He got him on another curveball. What a job by Rod Scurry.
And very effective pitching by Rod Scurry. We get a look at the Kansas City dugout. Pitching coach Gary Blaylock discussing strategy with manager Dick Hauser. But Scurry on that 3-2 pitch, contrary to what Buddy Black did to Weiniger, he had Weiniger 3-2, came in with a fastball, which is normally what a pitcher would do. But Scurry, with that outstanding curveball, gambled on getting it over, and he did. Big pitch. If he doesn't, bases loaded, puts a lot of heat on Louis, because Hauser has a couple of options there of who to pinch hit.
All right, and while Jim was talking, we saw a shot of Joe Altobelli, who is Lou Pinella's right-hand aide down in the dugout. And here's that man Jim was talking about, Butch Weiniger. Big 3-run homer in the 2nd inning and then bounced into a double play. Strike 1. Bud Black pitching like he did in 1983 and 84. Last year he had an off year. Off-speed pitch popped to left field, and Lonnie Smith makes the catch. 1 man out.
Well, that wasn't really Bud's #1 breaking ball right there. It was up in the strike zone, but he had Weiniger enough out in front. And, of course, that's the pitcher's job. Destroy the hitter's timing. Try to get him out on that front foot. Takes all his power away from him.
That's exactly what he did there. Here's Bobby Meacham, has had a perfect day. 2 base hits, 2 stolen bases, and has scored a run. Takes a strike. Bobby Meacham has certainly been impressive with his new stance. Not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That time he did nothing in 2. As soon as I opened my big mouth, I can't believe it. And he was down the end of the bat now, too. He had been choking up.
There we get a look at that swing. Of course, that's a danger. You know, a hitter gets a couple hits. He wants to get a little over-aggressive.
That's right. And hits one down the right field line, but curving foul. 0-2.
Bill White pointed up earlier in the broadcast what a good job Roy White has done with Bobby Meacham. He's coming off a good spring hit, 309, after only hitting 218 during the regular season. Of course, to start out like this with 2 straight hits, great confidence builder.
Not too shabby. He ducks away from a high, tight fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now, that's the good old-fashioned brushback pitch.
Oh, yeah.
See, the hitter went the opposite way. He's leaning out over the plate, and the pitcher's going to protect himself.
And he jammed him again. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes yet. Yes, you might not know it, Jim Cott, but Bill White has always wanted to manage. That's been his one big desire.
I don't know, I heard a voice coming from behind me said something accusing somebody of being a liar.
That was White.
I can't imagine anybody wanting to be a manager.
He does. Don't let him fool you. I do, but nobody believes me anyway. It's still a ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. 2-2. That was a shame about Guidry. I just heard that one report that he strained the calf in his right leg.
I think so. We were talking about how a pitcher lands on the mound. If you don't land in that hole that you dig in the same spot every time, you can twist your knee, twist your ankle, and in that particular case, he just strained a calf muscle. Black is overthrowing right now the last 2 pitches. The pitch prior to that to Meacham, high. Usually when you see a pitch sail high and away in the strike zone, it's a pretty good indication pitcher's trying to throw the ball or do more with the ball than he's capable of doing.
Overthrown. Okay. Payoff pitch. Foul twice at the plate. Full count on Bobby Meacham. 1 out and nobody on. The bottom of the 7th. The Yankees leading 4-2. Opening day. And a full house here at Yankee Stadium. Weatherman really turned a complete circle and came around, made it a beautiful day. Deep to left field. No, not quite hard enough. He watched the outfielders back near the warning track, makes the catch. 2 men out.
Well, and despite the fact it was a fly out, Bobby Meacham has stung the ball on the nose 3 times today. That's a good sign. And so far for the Yankees, I would say the most encouraging sign of the day has been the pitching of Rod Scurry.
Oh, I had no doubt about it.
If they get that kind of production out of their middle relievers, we pointed up earlier in the broadcast, that is such a key role on a ball club that does not get the recognition it deserves.
That's right. They are very much underrated, but if they can hold them in long enough for the big hard throwers to get in there, then you're in great shape. Ricky Henderson now has bounced to third, struck out, and flied to right field. First pitch was a ball. 2 out, nobody on. 2 balls, no strikes.
See, despite the great reputation the Kansas City pitching staff has, if they don't get good complete game efforts out of their starters, they don't have a lot of depth in that bullpen until you get to Quisenberry. They have no left-hander in the bullpen. And against a team like the Yankees, puts them at a disadvantage.
Oh, yes. 3-0. I didn't realize they didn't have a left-hander in that bullpen.
Not a left-hander in the bullpen. Of course, they had to disable Danny Jackson, who was going to be one of their starters, and they've activated Dennis Leonard on the comeback trail. He'll be their 5th starter.
Ball 4. Henderson is on. And now the fans will be roaring, and there's that man you were talking about, Jim.
It's Dan Quisenberry, and normally Dick Hauser would bring him in if the Royals had a lead, but in this particular case, opening day, he may obviously not tired from overwork, and you would go with it. If this were August or September, you wouldn't think about using a Quisenberry 2 runs down late in the ball game, but opening day you will.
All right, Willie Randolph's bounced a short fly to send a single to drive in a run, and Black trying to hold Henderson close. Meacham got 2 great jumps off Black. Black has a couple of different moves to first base. One he does very slowly, kind of lull the runner. The next one he does a little quicker, and then he's got a good balk move that they haven't called yet. 2 out. Ball 1.
See, this is where a pitcher has to make up his mind. You've got a base stealing threat like Henderson. and you throw over there, you pay a lot of attention to him, but you can't neglect that hitter. I mean, if he falls behind Randolph, he's a quality hitter, or if he loses him, you're going to look at Mattingly and Winfield.
All right, let's see what he does. Oh, he tried that tricky Righetti pickoff move. That didn't work.
It's the best thing a pitcher can do with Henderson. Now, if Blackwood comes set, there you get a look at that unorthodox throw. Low percentage.
Oh, he's got him. Maybe. Yep, he got him. Play goes 1, 3, 4. And at the end of 7, it's the Yankees 4 and the Royals 2.
And as we move to the top of the 8th inning with Rod Scurry trying to protect the Yankees 4-2 lead, we have some player changes for the Royals. Lynn Jones is going to bat for shortstop Salazar, and defensively the Yankees have put Mike Pagliarulo at third base in place of Dale Berra.
All right, Jim, and it's strike one called. There's Pags. Good curveball, strike 2. So Rod Scurry has really had control of that breaking pitch. Just missed with that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
55,602 here today. Largest opening day crowd in Yankee Stadium history. New
Ever.
or old?
That's
New
right.
or old?
Yep. Bounce, a nice play by Scurry. And throws him out, 1 away.
Well, and he continues to throw that curveball, as he will do. The Yankees have their 2 aces up in the bullpen should he get into any trouble. And I'm sure Lou will not wait long to go to either Righetti or Fisher. But the way Scurry's sailing along right here, he might get by today's game without having to use them.
All right. You would think he might want to use one of them for 1 inning anyway. It hit him on the foot. How do you like that? That curveball really broke and hit Lonnie Smith right on the foot.
Well, that's where a pitcher like Scurry with that good curveball will hit a hitter occasionally. Lonnie Smith, of course, stands right up on top of that plate. With that sharp breaking curveball, most of your hit batsmen will come off that type of a pitch.
See that?
He did his job.
Yes, sir. And Lou's not taking any chances, you mentioned, Jim.
Now we get a look at the new Yankee pitcher, Dave Righetti. And I like the way Lou did not hesitate. He had his mind made up. As we mentioned up here, he wasn't going to go long with Scurry. You've got Righetti and Fisher down there for a reason. And as soon as he hit Lonnie Smith with that pitch, even though he pitched very effectively, he ran right out to the mound, took the ball, said, "Good job, I'm going to my closer."
Now, you're right. You don't like to see a manager sort of hesitate and second-guess himself and always wait that one batter too long.
Well, quite often that happens. A manager gets himself in a position where he brings his ace into a tie game or even when you're behind. And then after the game, you look back and say, that guy's out there to save the game, not mop the game up.
Right. Clyde Rags, he was in 74 ball games last year. Jim, what's the most you ever appeared in one season?
I think 60-some. High 50s, low 60s.
They weren't using the relief pitcher quite as much.
No, I think it goes more by, you can be in a lot of games if you're not called on to warm up a lot or pitch an extended period of innings. I think most managers have learned over the years to limit their ace to 2 innings, regardless of what happens in the game. Don't get tempted to leave them in for 3 or 4.
Yeah, that does happen occasionally. Then you lose them for maybe 3 days.
Right.
All right, Willie Wilson now facing Dave Righetti with Lonnie Smith at first and 1 man out. How do you like this? That curveball is contagious.
Either the Yankee pitchers have good curveballs or Weiniger's a curveball catcher. We're going to find out. We know Scurry has an outstanding curveball, and so does Righetti, of course, to go along with that blazing fastball.
How do you like that? That had to throw Willie Wilson off. There's the fastball. Foul. He was late on that one. In the upper deck, 0-2. So Rags is ahead.
Well, and Wilson really hasn't shown the years as effective and as good a player as he's been in the big leagues. He cannot really handle a good fastball from a left-hand pitcher.
Oh, no. They showed that in the World Series and other games, playoff games. Ooh, we got a little mustard on that, low and away. This Mike Ferraro coaching at third.
Mentioned the crowd today. The previous high for an opening day crowd was in 1983, 55,579. Today, once again, 55,602.
A bouncer. They'll get one. They won't get two. Oh, man. He could have hurt himself and Willie Randolph. I think Lonnie Smith hurt himself more than he hit Willie because he hit the bag, but that was uncalled for, really.
Well, I tell you, the fans are getting on him, but they're looking at in Lonnie Smith, and we hope neither one of them is hurt as we get a look at the breaking ball for Maggette down in the strike zone. But I doubt there is a player in baseball, maybe with the exception of a Don Baylor, that goes into second base and he caught his foot there. That was a little bit of an over-aggressive slide.
It was, because his right spike shoe was beyond second base, and it hits Willie Randolph before it hits the bag. Watch this. See that right there? Oh, man. And Pinella's trying to say that he went out of his way to get Randolph, but he did not go out of the baseline to get him, and you're allowed to do that.
Right, that's
slide for the bag.
If you slide 6 feet to the left or to the right to get a second baseman, then an umpire will call an automatic double play.
Right.
And of course, Lou's protecting Willie right there, but all Lonnie Smith did was make an over-aggressive slide.
Yeah, no, that's right.
There we get a look at the shovel toss over. Now here's a look at the slide. See, Lonnie always slides late.
He sure did.
He's notorious for sliding even on his successful steals at the last minute. And there, of course, he just slid a little too hard and a little too far.
He might be a little achy. He might not even be able to play tomorrow the way, I mean, he really did. All right, here's George Brett, who has struck out, walked and scored, and bounced to first base. Strike one.
Well, Lou's got the matchup he wanted. He wanted, if Brett came up in a situation like this late in the game, Righetti's the one you want to have facing him.
Absolutely. One ball, one strike. 2 men out. Yankees leading 4-2 in the top of the 8th. Keeping it down low. 2 balls and a strike.
Mentioned earlier in the game how important it is for a lineup to contain 2 or 3 productive hitters, and Brett has pretty much been on his own the last couple of years. And here, a hitter like McRae can be very helpful to the Royals if he's productive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good scoop there on a 1-hop by Weiniger.
See, not many teams are going to let George Brett beat them or pitchers.
Shouldn't, that's
and as
for
a
sure.
result, even though there we get a look at the breaking ball, and a good play by Weiniger. A little late getting out there, but he made a good reflex action, blocked that ball.
All right, I don't think they're going to give in to Brett. It's 3-1. Nope, they didn't. He threw him a breaking pitch again and walked him.
You know, a lot of people, a lot of managers really would say you don't want to walk a guy. First base isn't open. If first base was open, you might walk him automatically. But George Brett, the quality hitter that he is, and the number of great days he's had here at Yankee Stadium, they're going to put the pressure on Hal McRae.
Oh, yeah.
Let's look at Brian Fisher warming up in the Yankee bullpen.
All right, 2 men are out, first and second. Brett is at first, and Willie Wilson at second, and McRae is 2 for 3. Strike one. Nothing but breaking pitches. McRae bounced to short, hit a 2-run homer to the opposite field, and then singled to right field. Oh, now what was that?
I don't know if that was his good moving fastball or if there was something on. Watch the movement on this pitch.
Down and away. Yeah. That came kind of sidearm and maybe.
Well, the way he was out front, I think it was an off-speed pitch.
Yeah. All right, 0-2. Righetti's getting tricky. Fans want a strikeout. Ooh, don't get that pitch up there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, we saw Black do that a couple of innings ago. Remember, you mentioned overthrowing. That's a case where he wanted to just snap off the best curveball he's ever thrown. And that's usually when the ball sails high and away.
Good breaking pitch. He'll step on the bag, Pags, and that'll do it.
So a pitching change and a defensive change for the Royals here in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's a look at Buddy Biancalana, who will come in to play shortstop. Argina Salazar started the game there. Lynn Jones pinch hit for him in the top of the 8th. And on the mound, a fella you would normally see on the mound for Kansas City when they were protecting a 2-run lead, Dan Quisenberry. But Dick Hauser, I'm sure, would like to see his ace get his feet wet, as they say. Nothing like getting that first assignment out of the way in a new year, and that's why Quisenberry is on the mound, even though the Royals are 2 runs down.
And as you mentioned, Jim, he's definitely not overworked. Spring training, first game of the year. All right, Quisenberry pitching to Willie Randolph. Bud Black had 7 good innings. Slow bouncer. They're going to have to hurry to get Willie, and he can't handle it. Frank White tried to pick it up barehanded. That'll go as a base hit for Willie Randolph. Now, how does the pitcher feel? He makes a great pitch, hits him off the end of the bat, and the guy's safe at first.
Well, of course, that's the kind of play, as you see, he fooled Willie. He didn't hit the ball, but hit the ball well. But Frank White, that's the only chance he had. Normally, you would try to get a glove on this ball, but had he taken the time to glove it, even if he fielded it cleanly, he wouldn't have gotten Willie. So that's the only chance he had. And he's one of the best second basemen you could have. So as a pitcher, you're not going to feel bad about that.
All right. Now here's Mattingly, down 0 for 3. Line to first, bounce to short, pop to third. Quick throw, and Willie Randolph is back. So Willie is 2 for 4 opening day. Good way to start. Ball 1.
Bud Black, with the exception of that 3-run homer to Butch Weiniger, pitched very effectively. 7 innings, 6 hits, walked 2, struck out 3.
Right. Two balls, no strikes.
Now, we pointed out the lack of a left-hander in that Kansas City bullpen, and here's where, of course, it hurts them. Even though Quisenberry is a great pitcher, he does have problems with left-hand hitters.
Yes, he does. Working on his pickoff move, but he still didn't get Willie. It was good to see Willie running down that line hard after Lonnie Smith kind of jumped on his left foot. There's a base hit for Mattingly. Willie Randolph kind of stopped and started back to first base. But first and second for the Yankees. Nobody out.
There we get a look at it, down in the strike zone, which most left-hand hitters like, and Mattingly's no exception. But Quisenberry, as a pitcher, has to pitch down to be effective. So that's why left-handers give him a lot of trouble.
All right. Dave Winfield walked and scored. Bounced out to in front of the plate, catcher threw him out, then lined hard to left field.
Here's where we're going to begin to see the depth that the Yankees have on their bench. Winfield's at the plate right now with 2 on and nobody out. And you've got Mike Easler in the on-deck circle to come in and hit for Gary Renicky once again. Kansas City with no left-hander in the bullpen.
All right. Nobody out. Oh, look at this. Uh-oh. Turn what could have been a big inning and a sacrifice into a double play.
Well, how many times do you see Winfield bunt? Was he called on to bunt quite a bit last year?
No.
That was quite a surprise.
It was a surprise.
I'm sure Lou's thinking there was, if he gets the ball down, of course, he's got one of the best RBI men in baseball, Mike Easler, but it backfired in that particular case. And quite often a hitter, as we see the Easy double play at second. A hitter like Winfield, who is not called on to bunt very often, obviously is not going to be a very effective
No.
bunter.
I remember Lou in spring training saying that he wanted everybody to know how to bunt. But that crossed all of us up. All right, here's Easler in his first official appearance as a New York Yankee. Had a good spring. Foul back, strike one. Easler had some outstanding years with the Pirates and one outstanding year with the Red Sox. 2 men are out. Yanks lead 4-2. We're in the bottom of the 8th. That was that, he came up with that knuckle curve, whatever it is, that he's throwing every once in a while now.
Well, he's got to have an off-speed pitch against left-hand hitters if he's going to continue to be effective, because he's getting to the stage in his career as we get a look at it right there. See, Easler's way out in front.
Yeah.
When he's faced the hitters year after year like he has, his normal pitches are going to begin to lose their effectiveness.
Time.
Quieted this crowd quite a bit.
Sure
I mean,
did.
they could smell an uprising with 2 on, nobody out. Winfield and Easler coming to the plate. Now suddenly there's 2 out, 1 on. 2 strikes on the hitter.
Just out in front a little bit. Couldn't do much more than that. The pitch was well inside. I remember Eddie Lopat would run. Batters would love to run up and hit against Eddie because he didn't throw hard, but he'd get 2 quick strikes. He'd pitch inside, and they'd hit the meanest line drives foul. But what was the count? 0-2. Then he'd give them a pitch they couldn't reach, and they'd swing at it. And there's one looped in the shallow center, and that's going to drop in for. No, holy cow! That Willie Wilson. Unbelievable.
Well, and Willie Wilson with that great speed in center field that we've been talking about all day, of course, did a great job of cutting a ball off early in the game and has now made his second shoestring catch. That one was just sensational. Points up a little difference in the gloves that the guys are using today versus 20 years ago, too. Look at that play right there.
Never made that catch way back then.
No, with the glove that your whole hand fit into, you'd have no chance. But great speed and great hands and great reach.
Yep.
Anticipation, all of those. And Wilson's had himself quite a day defensively, even though he's 0 for 4 at the plate. There's a look at tomorrow's pitching matchups. Left-hander Charlie Leibrandt against the Yankee right-hander Ed Whitson. We'll have that game for you tomorrow night at 7:30.
A lot of folks, so used to the 8 o'clock start that you got to keep reminding them 7:30. I know I'm so used to it, I might join you in the 3rd inning, Cut.
What's new?
I'd say this kid, this rookie is pretty sharp.
White put me up to that. I couldn't have thought of that.
Outside, and it's 1-1 on Frank White, who was lined to left, struck out, and hit back to the box.
And to remind him, in addition to the new starting time, is the fact that Ron Guidry left this game in the 5th inning.
Ooh, he ripped that one.
White rips a line drive in the left center field to lead off the 9th inning. Guidry had to leave this game after 5 innings with a strained calf muscle. Where Scurry came on with 2 1/3 very effective innings, and now Righetti trying to close the door, but White leads off the 9th with a solid single to left center.
All right, and here's Balboni. Steve has bounced to second, flied to center, and walked. That was the only walk that Scurry allowed. And as Jim Cott told you, you don't want to let the big man beat you or tie up the ball game. They don't have too much power in their lineup, but this is one of their power hitters. Low ball 1.
Well, with Motley on deck, the Yankees still have the best of it in the matchups here, because you've got Righetti on the mound, and probably the best pinch hitter the Royals have is George Orta, who is a left-hand hitter.
Let's see, Richie Garcia.
Pointing into the Yankee dugout at someone or something.
I think it has something to do with the picture on the right center field scoreboard that they have out there. I don't think they're supposed to have anything moving, and they had Garcia moving around, and then they had a little bit of... now that's all right, putting it up like that, where the picture is still of Balboni.
Yeah, those hitters don't want any distractions.
None whatsoever. 1-1 the count, nobody out. Oh, he had that one by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See, that's that good high fastball. Balboni's an example of hitters as you see him swing through that high pitch. More right-hand hitters today are good low fastball hitters. Years ago, you wouldn't dare pitch a right-hand hitter up in the strike zone. But the book on him is he's a pretty good low fastball hitter, and with Righetti's fastball, he'll get it by him upstairs.
There. Oh, man, how'd he lay off that? 2-2.
Now he's got a choice. Is he going to come back with that high fastball, or is he going to the breaking ball? That's the thoughts going through a pitcher's mind right now.
And the hitter, right? Holy cow. He had to be looking for the curve both times because he took pitches, pretty good pitches. 3-2.
He's going with a fastball.
Line right at Meacham. Oh, boy. Yankees caught a break there. And Bobby said, if it's hit to you, I'm covering second base. 1 man out.
That's a case of a 3-2 pitch. The hitter's always in the driver's seat. Percentage of the time you're going to get that fastball. That's what he got right there. Unfortunately for Righetti, he hit it right at the shortstop.
You mean for Balboni?
No, I say fortunately for Righetti.
Fortunately. Okay.
I mean, Balboni couldn't have hit the ball any better than that.
No.
But that's where a pitcher tips his cap and says, thank you, Abner. Abner Doubleday put those 8 guys out there, all in good positions.
Yes, he did.
Catch up with the majority of the pitcher's mistakes.
All right, Darryl Motley now has doubled and struck out twice. Strike 1.
That's big out, too. We talk about the game of baseball. The important things are first. The first out, the first strike, the first run.
Right.
And that first out in the 9th inning with a double play still in order. Real important.
1-1 the count. Yankees lead 4-2 here in the top of the 9th. And Dave Righetti trying to wrap up the Yankees' first win of the year and his first save. Good pitch. He took a little bit off that one.
And I'm sure Ron Guidry sitting down in that Yankee clubhouse with a few anxious moments as we get a look at Righetti's good breaking ball catch in the outside corner, because Guidry has never won an opening day game.
I know it. That could be 2. Oh, he bobbled it. Holy cow. Bobbled it twice. He'll only get 1 error, but it'll be an error. And he could have got the 1 sure, but he wanted that double play so badly that he just hurried the play.
There we get a look at Righetti's curveball. Got the perfect pitch. Taylor-made double play.
See him take his eye off the...
Just didn't make the play.
Nope.
Well, that's when now Righetti has got to call upon a little reservoir of mental toughness right here, because I'm sure when that ball was hit, he said that's the ball game, like everybody else did. But it wasn't, and he's got a job to do now with first and second and 1 out.
All right, Jim Sundberg has bounced to short, bounced to first, and struck out. Foul tip, strike 1.
And there's nobody pulling harder for Dave Righetti right now than Bobby Meacham. I mean, he's had a fantastic day up till now with 2 hits and 2 stolen bases. But, of course, the one thing that everybody's going to remember right now up till this point is that was a game-ending double play ball.
Yep. I know the feeling. You make an error, the chance to tie or lose the ball game, and you're rooting for that pitcher to strike a couple of guys out and then pop them up. 1-1. And in situations like this, there are some infielders who, after they make an error, kind of dread the next ball hit to them, and others say, hit the ball to me.
The good ones say hit the ball to them.
That's upstairs out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The ones that say don't hit it to me anymore are either playing in the minor leagues or not playing at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the mental parts of this game, the mental toughness, is when you go through spells like that, you've got to have the ability to say, hit me the next one, I'll turn it over.
Yeah, that's for sure. They'll be gone. One ball, 2 strikes. A little high, 2-2. Just outside, 3-2.
Same pitch he made on Balboni. It seems to be a bit of an off-speed pitch that he's thrown. A little tailing fastball, almost like a 3/4 fastball.
Slider or something,
not his real blazer.
All right, let's see if the runners go. They don't go. And a base hit to center field, but the run might not score because Frank White was hustling back, thinking it might be caught. So the bases are loaded with 1 out.
And Dick Hauser's going to call on his bench right here. We get a look at Righetti's fastball. 3-2 fastball, of course, right in the strike zone. Sundberg hit it well. As you see, Willie Randolph just missed that ball, which meant that Frank White had to hold up briefly, and as a result, as Scooter mentioned, he wasn't able to score. And now we're going to get Greg Pryor.
And he has always had a lot of success against Yankee pitching over the years. At one time in the Yankee organization.
Buddy Biancalana went in to play shortstop in the bottom of the 8th inning, and now Pryor will pinch hit for Biancalana. There's Lou Piniella checking his defensive alignment and pulling for a ground ball.
Yep. All right, bases loaded, 1 out, and a slider is high, ball 1.
There's Dick Hauser in the Royal dugout.
Dick gives that gum a workout. Pull foul.
And is so often the case in all sports, it comes down, no matter how much offense, home runs, it's defense.
Oh, yes.
And that's, of course, what's been the key play in this inning right here. A defensive miscue by Bobby Meacham on a surefire double play ball. And it's got the Yankees in a bases loaded 1 out jam.
There they are, bases full of Royals. And strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now here's where Righetti, he's been ahead on most of the hitters, but then come back to run 3-2 counts.
Well, that's where a pitcher sometimes, if he takes a defensive approach by saying, I don't want him to hit the ball, as opposed to saying, I'm going to make him hit the ball and I'm going to make him hit my pitch.
All right, the Yankee fans want that strikeout. And a fly ball hit to left field. Fairly well, but foul. You can see Pryor choking up on the bat, not swinging hard, just trying to get a piece of it. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Roy White with his arms folded, and the Yankees a little tense right now in the dugout. Popped him up, but it's going to be out of play back in the stands.
Well, as you mentioned, Pryor not taking a big swing, just trying to make contact. He only has 14 lifetime home runs, so you wouldn't consider him a home run threat.
The only thing that scares me is Righetti tries to throw the fastball by him. When you throw that good fastball, you don't have to swing too hard for the ball to carry.
Well, that's where movement's so important to a pitcher. Late movement. Then you can throw that fastball and challenge hitters in this situation, because with that good movement, tough for the hitter to get the barrel of the bat on the ball.
All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Struck him out. Oh, Righetti's first strikeout, but a big one. 2 out now. The base is loaded, and a tough Lonnie Smith.
Here we get a look at it. Breaking ball.
Oh, man, that was
out of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Out of the strike zone, but when you've got 2 strikes on the hitter, as we point out so often, if you get ahead of that hitter, you expand the strike zone. He's going to chase more pitches.
All right, Lonnie Smith robbed of a base hit on an outstanding play by Dale Bearer in the first inning. Bounced to third, struck out, and then was hit with a pitch last time up. 2 out and the bases loaded, and the Yankees leading by 2. Ball 1, low and away. Oh, he went after a bad pitch out of the strike zone. 1-1.
Of course, Righetti has faced Lonnie Smith many times before. When you know your hitters and you know Lonnie Smith, he's not going up there looking for a base on balls. There you get a look at the pitch well out of the strike zone, and that's why you can throw an aggressive hitter like that, some breaking balls, not be too concerned about the ball being in the strike zone, because he's a free swinger.
Boy, he really is.
Last thing you, excuse me, Scoop.
Yeah.
Last thing he'd want to do right now is walk. He wants to swing the bat.
1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, good. He was a little late on that. A hard foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Now the crowd wants that strikeout. They're going to get on their feet. Yankee bench and the fans. Oh, look at this. Could be that kind of a year. Every game could be exciting. A little high, 2-2. Bases loaded, 2 out. Yanks lead 4-2. Top of the 9th. That pitch, Jim. I was so nervous I didn't.
It had the movement of a fastball, but he's thrown a couple pitches today that have really tailed away. There you see Lou Piniella celebrating his first win as a big league manager.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's a day that all these guys are going to be very happy to get over with.
Right. What an inning. Bases loaded. They leave the bases loaded. The final score, the Yankees 4 and the Royals 2.